Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, and our top story here is an update on an operation that included more than a dozen armed local and federal officers, and many saw the U.S. Customs and Border Protection helicopters circling the Estate Thomas area, as well as VIPD securing the intersection around Oswald Harris Court on Friday evening. Jose Squiabio, 42, and Yasim Ross, 31, both of Oswald Harris Court, were arrested as a result of that operation known as December Rain. Both were charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. The operation is a joint effort by officers from Homeland Security, U.S. CBP, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, DEA, DOJ, and VIPD were in place to patrol housing communities because they say of the increase in gun violence. Virgin Islands Police Department, along with the DEA, FBI, HIS, and Customs agents, also conducted several initiatives in a few other housing communities this past weekend, and few arrests were made. But most importantly, they say the teams were able to reach out to the members of the community in an effort to bring back the trust of the community with the enforcement officers and let them know they will not just sit back as crimes occur. This was the first of many initiatives that will be ongoing. During the initiative, they were able to distribute cards with contact information so that residents can reach out to each and every agency with information. Well, Tamala Foy, 23 of St. Thomas, made his initial appearance on December 12th before U.S. Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller after being charged with possession with intent to distribute approximately 29 grams of crack cocaine. Miller released Foy on a $10,000 unsecured bond and set Foy's preliminary hearing for December 14, 2016. According to the complaint, on December 10th, agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives arrested the defendant in the Red Hook area of St. Thomas after agents made several purchases of crack cocaine from the defendant. Under federal law, if convicted of possession with intent to distribute 28 grams or more of crack cocaine, Foy faces a minimum of 5 years in prison and a maximum fine of $5 million. 31-year-old Everett Philip from Mount Pleasant, St. Croix was arrested on Sunday, December 11th. Mr. Philip was attempting to depart St. Croix for Puerto Rico when Immigration Customs Enforcement did a NCIC check, which revealed that he was wanted in Orange County, Florida, on a warrant for a parole violation. Here's more.
He was arrested, detained, pending advice of rights hearing, and later scheduled extradition hearing. The NCIC is a National Crime Information Center, assists in all law enforcement agencies with documented criminal information regionally and nationally. This technology has been instrumental for the VIPD's Criminal Investigations Bureau and the Homicide Task Force make more arrests in many of the homicides when suspects leave the territory. If you have any information on anyone committing crime in the territory, call the VIPD on St. Croix at 340-778-2211, on St. Thomas 340-774-2211. Or you can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911. I'm Glenn Drade, Public Information Officer for the VIPD.
On Friday, December 9th, around 1:38 p.m., officers were dispatched to the BOC, which is the detention section at Golden Grove, and met with a corrections officer who stated a Sharifa Peterson bought a medium-sized clear bag with clothing and shoes for an inmate. The officer stated that she smelled a strong odor of marijuana from a pair of black Jordan sneakers. Upon further inspection, they pulled the sneaker apart and two small clear plastic bags with green leafy substance dropped out from the sole of the sneakers. The green leafy substance proved to be positive of marijuana. 26-year-old Sharifa Peterson was arrested for introduction of narcotics into the prison and remanded to the Golden Grove. Just a quick note, the 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals is sitting this week in federal courthouse in St. Thomas to hear various appellate cases. The federal judges are from Philadelphia. They will then fly back at a later date to hear arguments on cases they decide on. The hearings are taking place at the DeLugo Federal Building on St. Thomas. Homeland Security, Justice and Public Safety met at the Lowett's Conference Room on St. Croix to get an update on the VI Police Department, the VI Bureau of Corrections, and the VI Health Department. We'll break down the agenda on Wednesday's newscast. Well, on Monday, as we shared, Governor Kenneth Mapp addressed the residents of the territory during a press conference, speaking out about his plans to deal with deteriorating road conditions in the VI, among other things. The governor outlines in his press conference a territory-wide road rehabilitation plan. Richard Dorsey files this report.
At a news conference on Monday, December 12, 2016, at Government House, Governor Kenneth Mapp shared with the territory his plans for addressing our road issues.
I had directed all of my island administrators, St. Croix, St. Thomas, Water Island, and St. John, to work with Public Works and do a complete assessment of the primary and secondary roads in the territory. And we got a very good list of the conditions of the roads and how they've been affected by the water. Now, the roads, of course, were not in top pristine condition to begin with, and given the weather, it hasn't helped.
Speaking about the urgency of the road issues, the Governor Mapp stated that there will be a temporary state of emergency in regards to road repair.
In order to accomplish this week, I will be signing a public exigency document. I will be putting sort of a public emergency giving the conditions of the roads for the next 90 days, which allow the Department of Public Works and the Department of Property and Procurement to fast-track the implementation of these repair contracts. So over the coming weeks, you should be able to see in the territory a rolled-out and stepped-up effort on the repair and reconstruction of the number of roads. The public exigency will also permit the Department of Public Works, where they are prepared, to get one of two of their major road projects launched under that umbrella as well.
Richard Dorsey, News 2.
Waste Management Authority contractor Peter Caproni, the owner of Your Environmental Services, Inc., had planned a work stoppage this week. He says because the VI Waste Management owes vendors a lot of money. However, after meetings with administrators at Waste Management, he says he's holding off on urging garbage collection vendors to stop work on Wednesday. Meanwhile, on St. Thomas, Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority advises St. Thomas residents of collection delays at bin sites in the northern and western areas of St. Thomas. The authority's contractor for the area, Patrick Charles Enterprises, was unable to complete daily collections due to mechanical issues. Bin sites impacted include Black Point, Carrot Bay, Crown Mountain, Shibui, Solberg, Cancrine, Altona, Lanclos. The authority has engaged additional resources to ensure collection this evening. The contractor for the area is expected to be back on schedule on Wednesday, December 14th. President-elect Donald Trump says he will nominate Rex Tillison to serve as Secretary of State. Trump's transition team officially announced his pick to head the State Department this morning. Tillison is currently the chairman and CEO of ExxonMobil. Like Trump, he has no formal foreign policy experience, but as the second command for the world's largest energy company, Tillison has built close relationships with many world leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin. The pick is expected to start a heated confirmation battle in the Senate. Republican senators like John McCain and Marco Rubio are not happy about Tillison's close ties with Putin. They feared Trump and Tillison would bring U.S. policy more in line with Russia. Keeping our eye on the economy this holiday season, the United States Postal Service plans to deliver 750 million packages. That's 12% higher than last year. If you are still checking names off your shopping list, there's time to get gifts delivered by Christmas and the first night of Hanukkah. But there are some deadlines you need to know. Get your packages to the post office by Thursday. That's if you want the standard ground delivery. FedEx has a Friday deadline for the standard ground service. UPS gives you a couple extra days. You have until next Monday, the 19th, for its 3-day select. If you still need time to shop, the 3 major carriers will deliver the week leading into Christmas, but it'll cost you more. Get to the post office, FedEx, or UPS by December 23rd to beat the rush. The week of Christmas, be prepared to wait in long lines with others trying to beat the clock. Here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Everything up, the Dow 114, NASDAQ 51, S&P 500 up 14. Coming up on News 2, the Port Authority Governing Board has approved, as we mentioned earlier, shifting $1.5 million from the Red Hook Parking Garage project on St. Thomas to fund the dredging of Schooner Channel on St. Croix. And we'll hear from the Executive Director, Carlton Downs, coming up. Welcome back. The VI Port Authority Governing Board has approved shifting $1.5 million from the Red Hook Parking Garage project on St. Thomas to fund the dredging of Schooner Channel on St. Croix, pictured there. Executive Director Carlton Dow says the shift was made because the cost of construction of the parking deck at the Erman Victor Fredericks Marine Terminal at Red Hook will be less than budgeted. Here's more.
We took some monies from this project simply because the Schooner Bay project is a major one for the Port Authority and for St. Croix in particular, because we'd be able to transform the way, not just shipping, but the way visitors enter the Gallows Bay area. We expect to put a true passenger facility there, passenger terminal, getting away from all the construction material and the goods that comes in there at that port. But really what we were able to do, the governing board felt it was necessary for us to move forward, and what we were able to do is since we had already bid the parking garage right here in Red Hook, we just were able to move some funding from this project now over to St. Croix. The Schooner Bay project, as a matter of fact, on Thursday, we have the decision making there at DPNR, with DPNR, the CZM folks. Once we clear that hurdle, we expect to move forward our project. It's a significant project because it would allow smaller cruise ships to come in to the Christiansted Harbor and then be able to really uplift the tongue in terms of the traffic, the economy, and so forth of St. Croix.
Meanwhile, that commuter parking lot at the Erman V. Fredericks Marine Terminal will be closed December 19th to begin construction of a 2-level parking garage. It was postponed in November due to heavy rains. The Port Authority will provide paid commuter parking at the satellite lot located adjacent to the Ivana Durkin High School field. Parking rates will be $1 per hour or $6 per day. Paid shuttle service to the ferry terminal will be available at a cost of $1 per trip. The UVF terminal and barge ramp will remain open and fully operational during the construction of the parking garage. VIPA is also adding more parking for physically challenged drivers and improving drainage and utilities. Count on 2 to keep you updated. VI National Guard General awarded 5 soldiers for bravery during the 380th National Guard birthday observance. That took place today, December 13, around 3 p.m. The Adjutant General for the Virgin Islands, Brigadier General Deborah Howell, awarded 5 soldiers for their act of bravery after they assisted residents involved in a vehicle accident on St. Croix on Saturday, December 3rd. The awards and ceremony celebration of the National Guard's 380th birthday took place at the Joint Force Headquarters in Estate Bethlehem earlier today. The honorees are CDT Escobar Rashid, Sergeant John Baptiste Cornelius, Sergeant Dubois Titus, Private First Class Van Lange Deron, and PFC Brandon Titter. Governor Mapp honored some computer science education people this week, December 5 to 11, with an official territorial proclamation. This year, 233 Hour of Code events were held worldwide. Several public, private, and parochial schools registered Hour of Code activities in the USVI, and that was on Thursday, December 8th. Nearly 20 students from elementary to high school ages, they all worked gleefully to complete their exercises during the Virgin Islands Next Generation Network's VINGN's 4th annual Hour of Code event, hosted by the Central Seventh-day Adventist Church Public Computer Center on St. Croix. Code.org has merged with Computing in the Core to create the Code.org Advocacy Coalition to advocate for the institution of computer science training in all schools. Well, as we shared on Monday's newscast, we told you about the Recycle Task Force and some of the new ideas they hope to bring forth. Here's more from the Executive Director of VI Waste Management Authority on their plans.
Basically, all the departments, we're going to work together in a collaborative effort to send one message out to work on education and making sure that we do what we can do to make sure that the island is clean and all the residents have a good understanding of what initiatives we're trying to do. All those bills are good bills, but they're going to basically help the island become, ultimately litter free. The meeting went very well. I'm very excited for Waste Management to work with all the different departments, tourism, health, Education, Agriculture, Department of Planning and Natural Resources. It was a very good meeting. I just say I'm looking forward to working with throughout the territory as the new executive director, and definitely welcome any comments or feedback.
The governor is getting ready to present his annual Christmas party, and so far we have the date for the St. John party. It's on Thursday, December 15th from 5:30 to 9 p.m. at the Battery. As always, the youngsters can expect to meet the governor as well as Santa, receive some gifts and goodies, and spread some Christmas cheer. As soon as we get the dates for St. Thomas and St. Croix, we will be happy to share it. Now, for many, it signifies the start of the Christmas holiday season in St. Thomas. For others, it means the start of the better business ahead with the advent of more tourists to our shores. This year's Miracle on Main Street will be bigger and better than ever. Hundreds will turn out Friday night for the Miracle on Main Street, celebrating on St. Thomas. People walk the streets, buying food, listen to music, while stores stay open late for shoppers with some great deals. It's presented by the St. Thomas Chamber of Commerce. All the excitement begins early in the day and continues in the evening. Entertainment at the Emancipation Garden will have more about the entertainment lineup as well as the light boat parade. Christmas time is a time to get dressed up and decked out. And if you've been to the first one, you don't want to miss this year's Winter Blue 2 Fashion Festival. Designs by Grace. She's very, very good. See all of her standout designs worn by popular local models, as well as entertainment and other unexpected surprises. That's on December 17th, 6 p.m. sharp at Tutu Park Mall. It might be the perfect time to select your New Year's Eve dress. Now, some events have already kicked off, but we have an overview of the St. Croix Festival. The Christian Christmas Festival president gives News2 an update. Here's more.
Good day, this is Davidson Charlemagne, Christian Christmas Festival President. I'm here today to give you an update, a recap of what's going on with the Christian Christmas Festival events. We're trying to rejuvenate this Calypso show to make it better. And also, as a centennial year, we want to give back to the people of the Virgin Islands, especially St. Croix, for those who've been supporting the Calypso show every year. You know, again, like I said, we're putting it in the village this year. This year is going to be in the village for free. That's on actually January 5th in the village. Be there, support it. Our Queen Show, I know this year we had 3 contestants. Everybody's wondering what's up with the Queen Show. You know, we had 3 contestants that signed a contract to take part. We had 2 that dropped out. You know, by the contract, we have to fulfill it and crown the young lady. And I want to congratulate her still. She's going to be crowned. Also, we're merging that show with our Prince and Princess and Duchess show. And that will be on the 18th. That's at Island Center. So come out, and we have Mario, the R&B singer. He's going to be also performing there. Kids is 15, adults is 20. We even lower the price.
Now let's take a look at some of the events coming up. On December 18th, we have the Centennial Queen, Prince, Princess, and Duchess. They will be crowned at the Island Center for the Performing Arts. R&B singer Mario is performing December 29th. The Rita Shiverton Centennial Village opens in the parking lot near Paulie Joseph Stadium in Frederickstead. January 2nd, Cultural Night at the Centennial Village. January 3rd, Centennial Soca and Party Monarch competition at the village again. January 4th, Juve gather at Hannah's Rest Corner at 5 a.m. The tramp begins when VIPD gives the okay. Be sure to stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Well, across the Virgin Islands for this evening, we're going to begin to see less and less of those showers throughout the evening hours, but they're still going to be possible. Now, continuing in that light to moderate trade wind flow pattern, we have that big area of high pressure. Now, as this high pressure begins to push off into the east of the Atlantic, we're going to be seeing those trade winds begin to calm down slightly. So our winds will begin to die down eventually, but over the next few hours and even through tomorrow and into Thursday, it's going to continue to be pretty wet, as well as seeing some cloudier conditions. 66 degrees for our low tonight. Partly cloudy. Can't rule out those chances of passing showers as well. Now into St. John, it's going to go something like clouds and then sun and then some clouds with rain and then some sunshine. Now most of these downpours are going to be quick and brief and not very heavy, but we could also see some drop up to about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch. St. Croix throughout tonight going to be staying mostly dry, and we will see tomorrow partly sunny skies there as well. Out on the waters for the Atlantic tomorrow, we do have a small craft advisory in effect throughout the afternoon hours, waves 5 to 7 feet, and we do see some winds out of the east, 15 to 20 knots. As we head across onto the Caribbean side of things, looking at those waves, very similar small craft advisory. We do have those winds on the east, 15 to 20 knots, gusting up to 25, and our swells about 4 feet. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Going to be staying in that normal easterly trade wind flow pattern throughout the weekend, really. Temperatures very steady as well. We're right around 86 degrees for our high across the board. Seeing a shower in spots more likely through Thursday and Friday. The moisture in the air going to really begin to die down as we head towards the weekend, with that area of high pressure moving off into the east. Those trade winds die down, and by the weekend we're seeing more spottier showers, but we are going to stay windy for our Sunday. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you for that. Let's take a look at the News 2 weather picture there by our star is AJ Rosario of Ricardo Richards Elementary School, sharing some typical VI weather there with some sunshine, and I'm guessing he's excited about Carnival coming up. AJ, thank you for that. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to include your name, age, school, and brief description. Then tune in to see it right here on News 2. That is all for now. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.